Good evening, kindred spirits. This is Tara Coutman at the Woo Report, or Woo Report at taracoutman.com. Well, don't go to taracoutman.com. It is not ready for prime time. Okay, so the chart did come in, and I'm updating really late. It took me a while to get everything together because I decided to put together a graphic, and I'm not paying for Photoshop anymore, so I have to use GIMP, and I feel like a GIMP when I'm using it. It's just not the same as Photoshop, so I really do try, but it really takes me a lot longer to do things. I do have Photoshop 5 on a machine in my room that I could turn on. Very old computer, it doesn't even get online anymore, but it does have that Photoshop. I might just go back to that because I used to do collages and things like that, which is very hard doing all the masking and things in GIMP as compared to what Photoshop could do, even in Photoshop 5. So more with that. Okay, so here is the chart from today. When I looked earlier today at around 10 o'clock, I must have uploaded a little bit maybe after, maybe like 10:30. I'm not sure the exact time it updated, but it was blind for a little while, just dark. So let's see what it shows here. Get here. Put this up here. Oh, that's not the one I want. I want that one. Let me get mine open. All right, so now we can see here that, okay, so there was a 20-hour blackout, which was odd. And some of these blackouts, how they're pieced back together, just does not look right. But I'll show you what I mean when I show you all of them, just date from the 22nd to today. So some had intense activity August 23rd, and we had ongoing surges through the 25th, power to 10 to 16. There's some powerful surges right in here. Kind of right here too. And all this, like with this red and this, and even this now, that was yesterday. So, and this I think is another timeline jump, just like this. So we'll see. When I did my reading earlier, if you go back and listen to it, still the 27th, I said I was blind. I didn't know about this, but in my mind, I thought that maybe that could be because it happened before when there's a power outage. So we see that it's a void. And I think it feels like another timeline jump, a cosmic reset where the Earth pauses to integrate overwhelming energies. Perhaps we're overwhelmed by solar flares and CMEs. Dr. Shavi describes that in the article on the site that I don't have my link here, but on the site where they show the graph, the Italian graph too of the energy. So, okay, so where the blasts conduct Earth's electromagnetic energies. So there's a whole bunch, like an orchestra, there's a whole bunch of different things happening that, you try to piece together. I like to piece astrology too, but it's a lot in just a quick reading every day. So now we had quite a few, like this I had this stuff here, which I really don't like that either, with this little and all this time, not much dreaming. And with this, it's like dreaming when you're working, nothing seems right in my dreams. It's like I'm struggling in my dreams. So there's that. And then, so let's do a recap. I want to put up the other, let's turn this off. Do this right here. Okay, let me see. You're not seeing my cursor, so I need to get that window open. The thing is, it's only going to show this, and if I magnify it, I have to remember to turn it down. Also demagnify, zoom out. So we can see the 822. Okay, so I'm going to recap first. Get to that window. It's right there. Okay. So I want to get back to my recap. So the recap is from August 23rd. That was great. I don't know if you've seen that. Okay, so August 23rd. I didn't do one for the 22nd. In August 23rd, there was a 60-hour blackout. I also had a one for the 22nd, but I didn't recap it on this. Okay, so August 23rd, we had a 60-hour blackout right here. One right here, both of these. Okay, so, and that tarot reading was justice, demand fairness for wrongs. The world reverse stalled us. And that was kind of like the 22nd, I believe, was the day that why I thought it was a timeline jump because of the world reversed. I thought that was interesting. And patience were tested with the Three of Wands, while the Page of Cups promised a new earth, driven by the Two of Cups, unity, and the Four of Cups, call to act. And then on the 24th, we still had the 24-hour, the 12-hour blackout. It's here. And to deepen this with the Devil's Bondage, that was one of the cards. We had the Devil and we had Death. And Death's card is cleansing. And that, excuse me, in that reading, I talked about the new timeline being like 1979. And there was a robotic arm killed somebody. So the first robot death, human death from a robot. That was interesting. I want to go deeper into 1979 capacity, and we'll see. And there was another date too, but that was like more into this year. So Death's cleansing, we had the Hierophant who resisted the change, and the Seven of Swords urged strategy, with the Ten of Swords collapse. Okay, so with the Ten of Swords is the collapse met by strength. Maybe that was foretelling the next timeline jump, like there's going to be another collapse. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I'll have to go dig a little bit deeper. And then met by strength, solar flares, quakes, and eclipses amplified this need to release their energies. We are just being bombarded, and the earth releases them back out. So the sun flares and all that is really creating a lot of energy. So then, now we're at the 27th, which is today, and the chart stabilizes at power 15. So it stabilizes today, but this is not good. In this timeline, okay, that's good. Going more into the mellow this morning. I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow's chart looks like. So, the Seven of Swords came up, which keeps us sharp. The Fates spins a new cycle. Okay, so the Fates, the Wheel of Fortune came up today. And for the vibe today, so that's kind of interesting. And then the Fate spins a new cycle, and the King of Wands challenges bold moves. So the King of Wands is probably like, I'm looking at it like it's from the collective. The challenger is like the powers that be kind of thing, challenging our need and our desire for a new earth and the collective to move forward in a peaceful human way. We've been governed by animals, psychopaths. I mean, the worst of the worst get into power, and it's just craziness. Craziness. And nobody wants this. All things could be diplomatically resolved. Sure, we might not be as rich as we are if we don't go to war, but really, do we really, are we better off? Or is it the stockholders and our government, who invest in those stocks? And now you all created BlackRock. Remember that? Well, they put into place a thing called a 401k. And then people just said, oh, I need to invest my money there, so I'll do that. So I would encourage everybody to start looking into maybe investing in Bitcoin or something that can help the collective and support the collective and help bring down the Federal Reserve note. It is not constitutional, whole nother story, but it's bad, bad, bad. And we can see just collapse after collapse. And they said this was supposed to help. Okay, come on. Anyway, so today I did do a draw for, let me open that up, just a 2-card draw. Okay, there it is. I don't have to go too far farther. Okay, so the 2-card draw for the confusion in the SR chart, Schumann resonance chart, this energy is just craziness. So the Hierophant, roots today, and need for structure, echoing the King of Wands, past vision, and the 7 of Swords, strategic past, while the Hermit's introspection deepens the Magician's hidden creativity. Yeah, so the Creatrix came up today. It's the hidden card. It's hidden creativity, and the Ace of Pentacles, prosperity. So the Ace of Pentacles was a clarifying card today. And the Wheel of Fortune, which is that deck that I'm using by Liz Houston. The Wheel of Fortune is the Fates. So it's a current shift. That's what was in the draw today. So that makes me think it might have been to a timeline shift today because of that card that I drew earlier before I even knew the energies. So that makes me believe, just like the world upside down made me think. So maybe this was correcting the world upside down. Maybe that's not the way we're supposed to go. And I do think maybe there are some other controlling factors in this that maybe can spin these energies. So that's kind of interesting, a whole nother conspiracy theory. Anyway, so with that, the Fates, the Wheel of Fortune, we're spinning a new cycle. And the King of Wands challenges bold moves. Okay, so we were talking about that. And then we're down here to the Wheel of Fortune's current shift, and the 7 of Wands future defense, find balance in the call to inner guidance. With the chart's black line marking a timeline jump that invites solitude to process the collective's reset. So yeah, we had a reset, and that would have been, let me get that chart. I really don't want to mess up too bad. Stay shift tabby. I really am going to need to set this up better, not have so many things open. I confuse myself with all the things going on. So here's all the dates that I was talking about, all the dates and some of the weirdness happening. So here was the 22nd. This is when I started recording my videos. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Oh my God, it's so tough. It's so tough doing these videos every day. It would be like your life. Maybe I can get faster. So 822, 823, and 824 all show that blackout. And then 825, this just blew in. So no connection really back up to here, to 824. It's just missing. So I don't know if they're just not showing it. That doesn't look like it matches up to the 24th. So these 3 days that we're missing. Okay, and then we go to the 26th, and it showed this. And then today in the morning at 10 o'clock, it still showed this. It was like, I don't know, 10:30 I might have checked, and it hadn't updated yet. So it was just this. And now we have another timeline shift right here and then right here. So it wasn't for very long. It wasn't as long as last time. But here we have this to this on the 26th. That looks like it goes to about here. And then this is all the 27th and the missing days. Now what I don't like when I look at this chart, it's like this chart you can kind of see, okay, how it's going together. It looks somewhat uniform. Whereas this, like in here, that and that just looks like piecemeal together. Like we're missing something. They're not showing us, so they're just trying to janky it together. But yeah, that doesn't look good. I think this is the one they're talking about right here. That happened around 9:30. And I felt very, very stressed, personally stressed at this time. So these white marks go to show an amplitude. So, and they're more, I think they're more pertinent and very, very edgy. Very personal things happening in your lives that you can just see that people are going crazy. So I think I talked about some of that up in here about just this energy. So people need to really be mindful of, how they respond and how maybe look to how you're responsible for things. And we want to like run away and hide. Like what was that? Is that the Four of Swords where she has the mask on? Like she doesn't want to see, but she does. She knows. Deep down inside, we know. We know our problems. We know what we're trying to hide from. So there's that. I just thought it was interesting. I'll try to do this. This shows 6 days, so this is almost a week of charts. But this was very odd. Okay, so I started up doing this. I've been watching it for quite a while. I've known about the Schumann resonance for a while and grounding and all that. I have a grounding mat that I sleep on, and its concept seems to me to be strong. It doesn't seem too woo-woo out of the park craziness. Like sometimes it's hard for me to understand like crystals and things like that, even though I do have some and I do like them, and maybe they do have a certain frequency and messages for us. But with the energy, it's like it can be measured and felt and all that. So today we had another timeline jump. And this stuff, it's almost like halfway, not quite there. And when I was looking at these two, it reminds me of like souls coming in. And I mentioned that in the previous video. If you've ever watched Man in a High Castle on Amazon, it's a really good series. It's somewhat slow moving in the beginning, but I think it was really compelling. It's really good. And I watched it with family, so it was like kind of nice to just watch it episode by episode, watch, 2 or 3 a night sometimes because it started to get really good. So this is a compilation that I just thought I wanted to see why these are like this. See, to me, it seems like this was here, and then we're not seeing that. They we're not. They don't want to show that because this just doesn't look right. These lines do not look right. Like in the natural flow of the charts, there's not that. But as soon as they black something out, it's like, okay, we're just going to piece it together. I don't know if the machinery goes down. I wish they would communicate that. You know, nobody's perfect. And I know with tech stuff, it is craziness. Like today, I was just like having a hard time with my microphone, changing the settings and doing all these things. And I realized, oh, it's my janky new speakers I got at Goodwill that I have to jiggle them sometimes because the little green power light goes out. So I'm thinking it's my microphone, and then I changed it all to be bad. That horrible, horrible output. I don't know if anybody else is trying to do this, but teching ain't easy. Okay, so, and I guess you just learn as you go. And I've always been interested in tech, and I've done web development, web design. After a stint with consulting and business analysts, and that's probably one of the things that one of my strengths is going to be analyzing data and analyzing the inconsistencies. So this is why I would do things like this, so we can see maybe even over a month and see patterns. So I'm going to really try to keep my data organized so I can come back to it and synthesize it, and in a meaningful manner. Like with the first time this happened, it was the world reversed. So that made me think it was a timeline shift. And then today, before this update on my tarot reading, it was the fates, the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm thinking this one right here, maybe that was not good enough. Not the change that needed to happen. And this is another one, but these are very close together. And I haven't been doing this for a long time. I've been looking, but not analyzing daily. So if I analyze daily, then I might get some more insight onto patterns. Like with this weekend now, I should note too, the sun flares, because those storms, aren't we coming up on the anniversary of the Carrington event, which was a solar flare that took out all the telegraph equipment. So that could happen again if we get a direct hit, or worse. I'm not sure what the doomsdayers say. I try to stay positive, but it's always good to know that these things could happen. And yeah, there could be a whole nother deluge and all the flood waters. And will we have anything that lasts? Maybe the pyramids will last in another deluge, because I really do think some of those monuments and things were made by very smart people. Humans, I don't know if we're getting any smarter, but those were very smart people who created these large monuments that still stand today to show us what they wanted us to know. So very, very fascinating. Our digital stuff is gone. I mean, even I think about that with my photos and your videos. They're just going to be gone. Not that long into the future. But going forward, I've heard, I can't remember exactly who said it, but this is a fairly good concept, that like the book of life is just this book, and it's like you could see people alive and showing you, and maybe we're just living out that book. We're in that book living it out. So it's really kind of interesting that we're in a living book. Or sometimes I like it like we're here to document also, like Abraham Maslow, that gave him a lot of purpose too. to see the evil, and sometimes we can't even do anything about it. But it's documented, and there will be justice. I really do believe there will be justice. So, and I'm not saying that it should be harsh justice, or maybe for some, but for some of us, we do it out of fear and not knowing. But some people do it just out of malicious, power hungry acts, knowing that they are hurting a large number of people. So I guess that wraps it up about this new timeline, and hopefully tomorrow the chart doesn't go out again, because this is just very, very, janky that it went this long without nothing. Then it went here on the 26th, and this just uploaded, not on time. And it's not matching up very well. So yeah, this is this. And then we have all this to about like right in here. And then this starts. Yeah, that looks like this. And then you have this. You have a little bit of this coming through. And then this, but this just doesn't make sense here at all. So this is what's concerning me. This here and this. Because this looks okay to me. Just that looks like a clean timeline shift. And this looks clean, but it's like, what happened before? Does it just blow out? Does it just go dark? I'm not sure. If it's, some people say they're deliberately hiding the data because they're just pasting this stuff together. I'm sorry. It looks like they're just pasting this together. There's no way, when you see really the flow, how natural the flow is, even when it's erratic. You can see how natural it just flows in together and tries to stitch everything. So, yeah. So I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a good evening, and we'll see how the energies go for the night. I feel a little bit better than yesterday, but still there's that need for, reflection, tired, but that could be just because I'm old and going through a lot of things. You may be too, and I do feel like right now that the energy is such that some people might not want to stay, and it's that rough. And I have thought about that too. Do you really want to stay? I mean, there's craziness in the world today, and it's being on display, like, right in front of our faces. Just, it's like revelation, biblical denial, and just insanity. So yeah, and then you're the hater for bringing up that those issues. So with that, I will let you go, and I still have lots to do. I still have to work out. I'm not going to eat because it's 6 o'clock here Pacific time, and it is not good for me to eat. I think I might be pre-diabetic. I didn't know when I had chemotherapy that might be one of the side effects. I never had a sugar problem, never had a weight problem, still don't have a weight problem. Yet here it kind of shows up. So if I eat late at night, the sugar, somehow my body I'll get thirsty and have to use the bathroom a lot. So if I don't eat, I won't have as much of that. So I'm going to start going into maybe learning more about clean keto. I did keto in the past. Just ate that bioengineered junk by Atkins. Please don't eat that. It can really harm your health. I think it harmed mine. And the meats, like the nitrates and the those processed meats. Don't eat those on keto. Please don't. Eat organic and the best that you can eat. And I'm going to try to start some fasting. Maybe just getting ketosis, where you could have like broths and stuff like that, and caffeine. You could have liquids. Just not getting out of ketosis. So I'm going to experiment more with that. So anyway, I hope all you are everything's going good on your health journeys. I'm going to work out, and I appreciate anybody who's watching. I hope you subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.